What's going on, guys? It's your boy JFT, and today we're moving on in the month of the fight nights, and we have a card on foreign soil. Well, foreign soil to me and anybody else who lives in the States or Canada. We're going to London, England. The beautiful and iconic O2 Arena will hold a bunch of MMA stars in big fights with big implications moving forward. To start off the card, we start with an undefeated fighter, a record like he's new to the octagon, but has already had 4 fights in the UFC, making Saturday his 5th. In referring, I am to the Devestator Dominick Reyes, a killer in the octagon. Reyes has only had 10 professional fights, 8 of them ending in stoppage, and 1 basically being a finish in the last outing against Ovince St. Preux. Today we look at one of the scariest finishers in the UFC light heavyweight division and almost throughout the entire UFC. We start this career with recorded amateur fights, which is rare in MMA. A lot of amateur fights go under the radar, and it never seems to pop up. But this time on SureDog, we got a couple of the amateur fights, and we have footage from Reyes' background. To give you a basic summary of his 5-fight undefeated amateur career, let me play you one of his title defenses in its entirety.
And they're off.
You can immediately see the difference in length and height.
Oh,
big straight
cow.
left. Dominick Reyes all
Holy
over
cow.
him. That is
It's
it.
over.
That is it.
Entirety. 9-second finish of Shane Merveau, defending his light heavyweight amateur title, and then we move on to the debut of Dominick Reyes into his professional MMA career, where the results didn't really change much. His first 2 fights took less than a round, declaring Reyes the victor. In his 3rd fight against Kelly Gray at King of the Cage, he'd actually get his first pro decision. He had a decision in his amateur career in his first fight, but won it unanimously, where he was visibly dominating the fight and would get back to his first-round finishing ways in his next 6 fights. 2 more fights, finishing both in under 2 minutes, would catch the eye of the UFC. Like many other American-trained prospects, Reyes would get a fight in the Legacy Fighting Alliance, the LFA. I put a tweet out to them recently, shout out the LFA because they retweeted it, just letting them know how much talent like Dominick Reyes has come through the LFA before making their debut in the UFC, and it was against UFC prospects and entry-level talent, basically. He'd be matched up against Jordan Powell, who himself was riding a 3-fight win streak on LFA 13, with minutes ticking out of the first round. The first minute, Reyes landed a head kick while Powell was feeling himself and his ability to take a strike. But before the 1 minute went through, Powell was unconscious and Reyes was on his way to the UFC. Opening in the UFC, Reyes got a main card spot on a fight night. The fight night was Lee versus Chiesa, and in the second fight that night, Reyes got his 3rd straight finish in under a minute, 4th straight first round finish, and TKO Joaquim Christensen in 29 seconds. Then a first-round rear-naked choke of Jeremy Kimball and a first-round TKO of Jared Cannonier would put Reyes on the UFC's map in the light heavyweight division, and Reyes would be fighting on one of the biggest cards all time. UFC 229 Khabib vs. McGregor. The 3rd and feature main card bout held Reyes to fight Ovince St. Preux, OSP, who's had experience against the likes of John Jones, the top of the light heavyweight division. On the main stage, could Reyes get the finish that would map him as a top UFC guy with all the eyes? In a fight which Reyes was winning, he couldn't find the finish. Round 1 and 2 settled nothing. With the fans coming off the explosive Derek Lewis finish and Derek Lewis's star-shining moment, the birth of my balls was hot, the fight was looking like one that wouldn't serve the favor of Reyes. But in the final seconds of the fight, Reyes caught a leg kick and hit Ovince St. Preux with the right hand that would put the lights out. However, the fight did not end via TKO. The fight actually ended by a decision due to the fact that the strike came so late in the 3rd round. It wasn't declared that OSP was unconscious before the final bell. Now, we get to this Saturday night where Dominick Reyes will take on another prospect striker in the light heavyweight division, Holman Oezdimier, and Reyes is looking to put on a beautiful finish and get his shot at John Jones in a light heavyweight division that at the top really isn't that stacked. Reyes could move straight in to that #1 contender spot after Thiago Santos with a big win against Holman Oezdimier. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been another episode of Career Retrospective. Later on, I think tomorrow or tonight, we will be doing another career retrospective on the young Macy Barber. So look forward to that. Thank you guys so much for watching. That'll do it for JFT on JFT Sports. Peace out.